Hey everybody, welcome back. So a few other small things I would like to do. Uh, I need to get a battery hold down. I need to start thinking about what I'm going to do about the air filter. I'd sure like to have the stock air cleaner assembly on it because when you open the hood, it's pretty much the first thing you see. And if I can't spend $400 or $500 for one. If I can find a used one for $150, $200 range, I'll probably pick it up. Other than that, I'm just going to have to buy some aftermarket one. And they do make repros and they're $500, and that's unfortunately not going to happen. I need to get the seat out because I need to fix the driver's seat back because it does that. And I don't know why that's happening. And if I take this block of wood that I stuck back here out, ow, that hurt. If I take that block of wood out, you can see it's even worse. So something's broken somewhere in that seat. So I got to get it out of there. I think the bolts are right inside. I can't see, it's too dark and this cover's torn down here. I want to repair that a little bit too. And I also want to figure out what size the exhaust pipe is and how far back it's rotted so I can attempt to repair the tailpipe. I'm still thinking about leaving that bumper, that trailer hitch on there, because it goes all the way around the gas tank and is mounted up forward. I can't remember why my dad put that on there. He wasn't really towing anything at the time, so I'm not sure why he had that put on there. Anyway, I want to make up my mind about that. I know a lot of guys who run the drag and drive and the sick week type of events would appreciate that being on there, but the more classic purchaser probably would not appreciate it. Anyway, I think I can measure that pipe. It's probably 2-inch pipe, so that's pretty easy to do. I just need to get a big pair of pliers and find out how far back it's rotted. So let's do that first, and then I will pop that seat out of there. All right, so this pipe is just a very short extension piece, and I can feel it. It's a slip fit right here with a clamp, and then another clamp here that went over top of that tip that rotted off, and then there's a hanger up above that is held on by this clamp. So my concern is, oh God, all that pipe is solid. That's all really solid. So why did the tip rot off? I don't know. But she rotted off of there good. So I need to know what size that pipe is. I expect it's 2-inch, but let's measure it anyway. I remember an auto parts store I used to go in when I was late teens, 20s, that had barrels filled with different pieces of exhaust pipe in it. You know, bends, flares, you know, slip fits, all different sizes, and they were, I mean, $1 or $2 each. I looked and I don't see any of that stuff anymore, so I don't know what people are doing for custom exhausts these days. Plus, it's all stainless steel now, so it's much, much harder to bend, much harder to do anything with, but at least it does last. So let's go see what I can find. So there's the driver's seat out, and that was not hard to get out. There were just 4 of these rubber plugs, and they're actually in pretty decent condition. I was thinking when I saw them, oh, they'll break and I'll have to print new ones, but you know what? They're still soft and rubbery, and they'll go back in, and 4 nuts, and then 4 of these pieces that were on the inside that went under the studs. And I was wondering, am I going to find something super valuable underneath of that seat? Well, I found the antenna mount stuff, which is nice. Now I can get the antenna put back up. And I found a brake pedal pad, and I'm thinking, all right, it's obviously a used brake pedal pad, but I'm thinking I don't remember the brake pedal pad falling off. And then when I looked, the brake pedal pad is on it, and there's nothing wrong with this one, so I don't know what happened. I don't know why there's 2 brake pedal pads for it. And I also found the trailer hitch plug in case you your trailer doesn't have the right plug. So somebody may want that someday. All right, there's the antenna done. It's always nice to get something checked off the list. And that goes all the way up until it almost hits the ceiling. That is a little absurd, but I guess AM radio was not easy to receive. So there it is at a more reasonable level. I remember on one vehicle we had when I was a kid, I don't remember if it was this one or one of my mom's cars. But when I was a kid, there was a gas station called 76. And they used to give out these red styrofoam balls. Red or orange. I think they were orange. And they were meant to go on your antenna. And they were a little bit bigger than a golf ball, I think. And they were orange and they had 76 in blue letters. And people would steal them. And I remember I put them, or my brother put them on one car. And somebody stole it and broke the antenna in the process. And man, my dad, he blew a 20 amp fuse and yelled at us, and we're never to put those on a car again. And yeah, it was, Dad was fun. Anyway, that's one thing checked off the list. And one memory I can say that, yeah, it wasn't the best memory of my life. Anyway, let's go see if we can figure out what's wrong with the seat. These seats broke commonly. They also rusted out a bunch, but this one is not rusted at all. So it just broke the welds back here. I have done these before in years gone by, but it's been a lot of years. Upholstery is available, about $250 a seat. Don't know that I really want to do that because I know damn well if I do one side, it's not going to match and I'll wind up doing both. And I just don't think that's where I need to go. While it's apart, I may attempt to do some kind of repairs there and on the seat back. But for right now, let's get the frame repaired. These seats are really easy to take apart if I remember right. They are very, very basic. These seats came in the Mustang. I think the same seats also came in a couple other Ford Mercury vehicles that year. I know they came in the early Broncos. So I'm going to take these side covers off. I'm going to try and get the seat back off, and then I'm going to get the upholstery off the bottom. All right, I got the seat back off. That was just a matter of popping out these two little clips on either side here and here, and then just using a pry bar to spread this side open, and slipping it off really pretty easy. I'd like to repair that while this is off the car. All right, I took the springs and the seat tracks off. Really, really easy to do. I cut a bunch of the hog rings loose. And here's this piece of the lower seat. You can see where it broke. Broke right there and right there. And if you look down in here, you can see right down in there the seam where it broke off. So I'm just going to scoot this seat pad the rest of the way off of it and figure out how far apart I got to get it to weld that back together. There's also some cracks here. I'll probably weld those up. Can't see any reason not to while I have it apart. I now have all 4,896 hog rings out of that. And I want to be honest with you. That's probably not 4,896 hog rings. I think I transposed a couple digits. I think it's 8,496 hog rings. I tell you what, I would have loved to have been the guy selling hog rings to Ford, because that's not a lot of fun. I would have rather had not taken it all apart, but that thing's just an absolute tinderbox. And I'm itchier than hell. If you ever wonder why upholstery is so expensive, now you know why. Because I remember, I think I did the ones on the seats on the 68 or the 69, I can't remember which. And I remember spending a couple hours just cutting all the hog rings out of that thing, and another probably entire day putting hog rings back into it. And I expect if you're replacing everything, you just rip and tear like a wild man till you get to the bare frame. But since I want to reuse most of that, at least that's still my plan, I kind of wanted to be careful. As I said, I would have rather welded it back up without taking it completely off, but you know, other than soaking it completely down and then sitting it out in the sun to dry, and trust me, I thought of that. I thought of putting 10 gallons of water on it and then welding it and then sitting it out in the sun to dry. But I didn't. I took it all completely apart. We'll get this welded up really nice, take it over and MIG weld it, and we'll just start putting it all back together again. Another spot, if I remember right, that these like to break were these pins. So this one looks pretty sorely bent, and I don't think I did that. So I'm going to weld it together here, those 4 welds, and then I'm going to give the rest of it a good look over and tack weld up any cracks on it so they don't spread any further, and fix anything else I can find. And then I'm going to put it back together best I can. For those of you who are interested, this is the Yes Welder MIG 205 DS Pro, which I do highly recommend. I have ER70035 solid steel wire in it. I'm using straight CO2 gas. You could do this with flux wire. It wouldn't make a damn bit of difference. I'm plugged into 110 volts and I'm set to 163 inches per minute, and this is set on Synergic as well, so it's dealing with the voltage for me, and that should give me a nice hot tack. This won't line up, and it's like not going to be possible to clamp it, so I've got one lined up how I like it, or at least I think it still is. I'm going to put a nice hot tack on it. I'm going to try and get the others in position while that tack is still hot. At least that's my plan. This is all welded up. In a lot of places where the old weld cracked clean and straight, I just welded clean and straight across it, and I kind of tried to wrap around the sides and edges a little bit where I thought I saw it cracked, broke. Jagged is the word I'm looking for. I put a little extra weld on it. Where I saw it looked like cracks forming, I put a little bead there just to try and stop it. And I put a little extra weld there and back across there. So this is stronger than it was when it was new, which of course probably isn't saying much because these were really, really, I don't want to call them low quality seats, but they were very light duty, might be the best word for it. And my dad was a really average sized guy. My dad was 5'9"-ish, maybe 5'9.5". Probably weighed 150, 160 pounds. He wasn't an ape like me, and I never really drove this car that much or rode in it that much. This was his go back and forth to work car until he passed away, and it pretty much just sat since then. So that's all welded up. I'm gonna let it cool down. I may hit it with some spray paint. I may look for any sharp edges that may cut anything and smooth those off with the grinder. And then I'm just going to put the cover back together. So I think that's going to be it for this video. That is now all welded up and ready for the seat cover to go back onto it. I have some thin vinyl, seat type upholstery material. Got sticky back on one side, which I really don't care about because I'm not going to put it on the outside. I'll put it on the inside, and I'll just use shoe glue to hold it all together. I've done that in the past before, and honestly, it's worked and looked pretty decently, and it's good enough for what I'm trying to accomplish here, I believe. I also got a battery hold down. I got some pieces of 2-inch tube to repair the tailpipes. I still haven't made up my mind exactly how I'm going to do that, but I do need some tube. Turns out that's the wrong size, but I'm going to make it work anyway. Oh, and I also picked up an argon bottle. I've got an argon bottle and a regulator now, so those of you who want me to actually test my spool gun with real aluminum wire on aluminum, I can do that now, or I will be able to next time I feel like setting it up. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thanks everybody for watching. Next Mustang video, we'll get this seat all put back together, repaired, and I don't know, depending on how fast that goes. Oh, I also bought a pair of hog ring pliers and some hog rings. I can't find my old one. Probably gave it away or threw it away, hoping that I would never ever do this again, but they're cheap enough. I bought a new one. Battery hold down pipe. We'll get all that done in the next video. Thanks for watching.